This video is about the old man begged for help, but the rich lady offered her a job. If this story inspires you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. Part 1: The Old Man Who Begged for Help. In a bustling city where ambition often overshadowed compassion, a frail old man named Samuel roamed the streets seeking refuge from a world that had forgotten him. His clothes hung loosely on his frail frame, and his hands trembled, not just from age but from years of hardship. Each morning, he found solace in a small park where the laughter of children and the chirping of birds painted a bittersweet picture of joy amidst his own despair. Samuel had once been a vibrant man, full of dreams and love. He had fought in wars, raised a family, and worked tirelessly as a carpenter. But as the years wore on and time took its toll, he lost everything he held dear: his family, his home, and his health. Now, he relied on the kindness of strangers, often sitting on a bench with a tattered sign that read, "Anything helps." One chilly autumn morning, Samuel sat on that bench, watching the leaves dance down from the trees. Each swell and flutter reminded him of his youth, of days spent with his children laughing in the autumn air. A knot formed in his stomach as he remembered their smiles, now distant memories. He sighed, pulling his threadbare coat tighter around him. As he stared at the pavement, he noticed a well-dressed woman making her way through the park. She moved with an air of confidence, her heels clicking sharply against the concrete. This was Margaret, known in the city as a successful entrepreneur with a reputation for philanthropy. Her face, framed by cascading dark hair, radiated warmth, but today she appeared preoccupied. As she passed Samuel, she caught sight of him. Their eyes met, and for a brief moment, the world around them faded. Samuel struggled to muster a smile, feeling the weight of his situation pressing heavily upon him. He sensed that Margaret, with her kind gaze, could see through the facade he wore. "Good morning, sir," she said, her voice genuine and kind. "How are you today?" "I am surviving," he replied softly, his voice barely above a whisper. "Just trying to find a little warmth in this cold world." Margaret's heart ached at his words. She had seen many like Samuel, but today, something stirred within her desire to do more than just offer a coin or kind words. "Is there something I could do to help?" she asked, taking a step closer. Samuel hesitated, uncertain how to respond. "I don't need much, just a little help to get by." Margaret nodded, but an idea began to take shape in her mind. "What if I offered you a job instead?" she said, surprising both of them with her boldness. "A job?" Samuel echoed, a flicker of hope igniting in his weary heart. "But I am not sure I am fit for work at my age." "I believe everyone has something to contribute," she replied earnestly. "I run a community center that helps people in need. We need someone to assist with maintenance and repairs. You do fit perfectly." Samuel's brow furrowed. Encountering kindness was rare, and accepting it felt foreign. "I haven't worked in years, Mom. I am not sure I can keep up." Margaret knelt down, meeting him at eye level. "You have a lifetime of experience," she said gently. "Your wisdom and skills can make a difference. I'll be there to support you every step of the way. Will you consider it?" Samuel looked away, his heart battling with his pride. Could he really take on this challenge, or was he too far gone? But as he glanced back at Margaret's hopeful eyes, something inside him stirred an ember of possibility. "If you think I could help, then I'll try." "Wonderful." Margaret beamed, her smile contagious. "Let us start fresh tomorrow. You'll see, it'll be good for both of us." As she walked away, Samuel felt a rush of emotions: gratitude, fear, and a flicker of hope. Could this be a second chance? For the first time in years, he felt the weight of despair lifting, replaced by a sense of purpose. Following morning, Samuel donned his best attire, which was still worn and faded but polished with care. He arrived early at the community center, his heart racing with anticipation. The building, once neglected, was now alive with laughter and chatter. Children played in the yard, and families gathered, creating a sense of belonging he hadn't felt in years. Margaret greeted him warmly, introducing him to the staff and volunteers. "Everyone, this is Samuel. He'll be helping us with maintenance and repairs," she announced proudly. The team welcomed him with open arms, and he felt an unfamiliar warmth wash over him. As days turned into weeks, Samuel found himself immersed in a world bustling with kindness and camaraderie. He repaired broken benches, painted walls, and even taught children some basic carpentry skills. Each task reignited a spark within him, a reminder of the man he once was. Though the work was physically demanding, Samuel found strength he thought he had lost. Every ache and pain was a testament to his resilience, and each laugh from the children fueled his spirit. He often shared stories of his past, weaving them into lessons about perseverance and hope, captivating the children and adults alike. Margaret often checked in on him, her heart swelling with pride as she watched him thrive. One afternoon, as they sat resting on a newly painted bench, she turned to him. "I never doubted you for a moment. You've truly become a vital part of this community." Samuel's eyes glistened. "You believed in me when I didn't. You believe in myself," he replied, emotion thickening his voice. "You've given me a chance to live again." Their bond deepened, and Samuel began to understand that kindness not only transformed others, it transformed him as well. The more he gave, the more he received, and the love he felt in return was a currency far richer than any he had known. As seasons changed, so did Samuel. He found a sense of belonging he thought was lost forever. The park that once felt like a prison had morphed into a haven of hope and renewal. He wasn't just an old man begging for help. He was Samuel, a man with a purpose. But every story has its challenges, and Samuel's journey had only just begun. As he faced the trials of aging, the question loomed: would he continue to rise even when the shadows threatened to overshadow him? Would he be able to weather the storms ahead? Only time would tell. But for now, he had discovered the beauty of human connection, and with each passing day, he felt more alive than ever before. His heart brimmed with gratitude, and as the sun set on another day at the community center, Samuel knew in his soul that hope is a flame that could never be extinguished. Part 2: The Journey of Renewal. As the days turned into weeks, Samuel settled into routine at the community center. Each morning, he arrived with a renewed spirit, eager to lend a hand. But with his newfound purpose came the inevitable challenges, reminding him that growth often requires navigating through obstacles. One afternoon, while repairing a leaky faucet in the kitchen, Samuel overheard a conversation between Margaret and a young mother named Lily. "I don't know how I'll make ends meet this month," Lily said, her voice strained. "With the rent due and my job hours cut, things feel impossible." Samuel felt a pang in his heart. He remembered the suffocating weight of poverty, the nights spent worrying about how to provide for his family. As he tightened the bolt, he contemplated how he could help Lily without overstepping. He wanted to contribute, but feared drawing attention to himself as a savior when he was still navigating his own struggles. Margaret, ever perceptive, noticed Samuel's furrowed brow. "What is on your mind, Samuel?" she asked, breaking his concentration. He hesitated, but chose to share his thoughts. "I couldn't help but overhear Lily. It reminds me of when I struggled, but I don't know what I can do to help her. I am just an old man with little to offer." Margaret smiled gently. "You have more wisdom and experience than you realize. Sometimes just listening can be enough. Why not invite her for coffee? Share your story." Samuel felt a rush of uncertainty. What if it doesn't help? What if she needs more than words? "Words can be powerful," Margaret replied softly. "You never know how your journey may resonate with hers. It could be the spark she needs." Taking a deep breath, Samuel nodded, encouraged by her belief in him. That evening, he approached Lily as she was leaving the center. "Would you like to join me for coffee tomorrow? I have a few stories that might help," he offered, his voice steady despite his nerves. Lily looked surprised but intrigued. "I do like that. I could use a friend." The coffee chat turned into a pivotal moment for both of them. Samuel shared his struggles, his losses, and how he found purpose again at the community center. Lily listened intently, her eyes wide with empathy. "You went through so much, yet you were here helping others. How did you find the strength?" she asked. "It wasn't easy," Samuel admitted. "But I realized that kindness has a way of coming back to you. Helping others often helps us heal." As their conversation unfolded, Lily began to open up too. "I lost my job last month and can't pay my rent. I am scared. I don't want to lose my daughter at home," she confessed, tears threatening to spill. Samuel felt his heart ache for her. "I understand that fear, but you are not alone. Maybe I can help you fix something in your apartment. I know a thing or two about small repairs." Lily's eyes lit up with hope. "Really? That would mean the world to me. I can't afford any repairs right now." The arrangement turned into more than just fixing things. They became a supportive duo, tackling small projects around Lily's apartment while sharing life lessons and laughter along the way. Samuel learned of her dreams, her aspirations to start a small baking business, and he encouraged her every step of the way, just as Margaret had encouraged him. Meanwhile, Margaret continued to watch their bond grow, her heart swelling with pride. "You were creating something beautiful, Samuel," she said one afternoon as they painted a mural at the center. "You were building a community of resilience." But storms don't just come in the form of personal struggles, sometimes they come from external forces as well. One morning, Samuel arrived at the center to find a flurry of activity. Margaret was in a meeting surrounded by concerned staff members. They were discussing a funding cut that threatened the center's programs. Without that funding, we might have to reduce our hours and even let some staff go, one volunteer said, worry etched on her face. What will happen to the families who rely on us? Samuel's heart sank. The community center had become his lifeline, a place where hope thrived. He couldn't imagine it being diminished. With resolve, he approached Margaret after the meeting. What can I do to help? There must be something we can do to secure the funding. Margaret smiled gratefully at him. We need to rally the community. If we can show the impact of our programs, it might persuade the donors to reconsider. Can you think of a way to share your story? Samuel felt a surge of purpose. I could speak at the donors meeting next week. If they hear how this center has helped me and others like me, they might feel inspired to support us. Absolutely, Margaret said, her eyes shining with pride. That is a wonderful idea, Samuel. The days leading up to the meeting were filled with a mix of excitement and dread. Samuel worked tirelessly, preparing his speech, crafting his narrative. He wanted to convey not just his own transformation, but the ripple effect the center had on others. On the day of the meeting, he stood before a room filled with potential supporters. His hands trembled as he gripped the podium, but he steadied himself, remembering the faces of those he had come to care for, Lily and the children who filled the center with laughter. Good afternoon, he began, his voice shaky but gaining strength with each word. My name is Samuel, and I am here to share my journey. I once felt invisible, lost in the shadows of despair, but this community center gave me a chance to rebuild my life. He recounted his struggles, his despair of feeling forgotten, and how Margaret's kindness had ignited a spark within him. I am not just an old man in need, I am a man with a purpose. I am part of a community that empowers one another. I am now able to help others, and I want you to see the impact your support can make. As he spoke, he saw nods of understanding from the audience, their expressions shifting from curiosity to compassion. The power of his story resonated, and he felt the warmth of hope enveloping him. As he wrapped up, the room erupted in applause. It was a moment of validation, not just for Samuel, but for everyone who had fought their battles in silence. He stepped down, tears glistening in his eyes, feeling a profound sense of connection with those gathered around him. A week later, as the center received news of renewed funding, the air was filled with celebration. Samuel, surrounded by the people he had grown to love, felt a deep sense of accomplishment. They had fought together, supporting one another in ways they never imagined possible. Margaret approached him, her eyes shining. You did it, Samuel. Your courage inspired them, and now we can continue our work. Thank you for believing in me, he replied, his voice thick with emotion. You showed me that even in the darkest times, there is always a flicker of light, and together, we can fan that flame. As seasons continued to change, Samuel found himself not just helping others, but thriving in this new chapter of his life. The struggles he faced were still there, but they no longer defined him. Instead, they became a testament to his resilience and strength. Lily began her baking business, and Samuel took pride in being her first customer. The community center became a beacon of hope, a place of refuge where stories were shared and lives transformed. Every day, Samuel reminded himself that life, with all its ups and downs, was worth embracing. With every smile he shared, every hand he helped, he continued to cultivate an unbreakable spirit of kindness, proving that even the smallest actions could create ripples of change. As he sat on the same park bench where he once felt lost, surrounded by laughter and love, Samuel realized that he had not only found purpose but a family. And in that moment, he knew that hope was not merely a flicker, it was a blazing fire that resided within the human spirit, eternally ignited by compassion, connection, and resilience. Part 3 is Strength of Togetherness. As autumn settled into winter, the community center became a refuge amidst the chill. Samuel had integrated into the rhythm of life there, becoming a beloved figure. His laughter echoed through the hallways, intertwining with the voices of children, creating a symphony of hope. But amid this warmth, the shadows of uncertainty crept closer. One crisp morning, as Samuel arrived, he noticed Margaret speaking in hushed tones with a few staff members. Concern etched across her face, Samuel approached, sensing the weight of the conversation. Margaret, is everything all right? He asked, his brow furrowed with worry. She turned, forcing a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. We were just discussing the upcoming winter donations drive. We rely heavily on community support this time of year, but things have been slower than usual. Samuel's heart sank. The holiday season was vital for so many families who depended on the center's resources. "What can we do to help?" he asked, eager to contribute. Margaret's expression softened. "We need to inspire the community to give, to show them how important this center is to all of us. Perhaps we could organize an event, a gathering to share stories and highlight what we do here." Samuel's eyes lit up. "I could share my journey, but why not invite others to speak too? Everyone has a story that could touch hearts." Margaret beamed. "That is a wonderful idea, Samuel. This could be a powerful way to connect and remind people why we're here." The next few weeks were filled with preparation. Samuel rallied volunteers and reached out to families who had found hope at the center. Each story shared was a thread, weaving a tapestry of resilience and connection that would be showcased during the event. As the day approached, nerves fluttered in Samuel's stomach. He'd faced his share of challenges, but standing before a crowd still stirred a whirlwind of emotions. Margaret noticed his apprehension and gently placed a hand on his shoulder. "You've inspired so many already, Samuel. Just be yourself," she encouraged, her eyes glimmering with belief. On the day of the event, the community center buzzed with energy. Families poured in, filling the room with laughter and chatter. Colorful decorations adorned the walls, and tables overflowed with baked goods, most of which came from Lily's new baking venture. The aroma of fresh bread and pastries wafted through the air, drawing people closer. As the gathering began, Samuel took a deep breath, his heart pounding in rhythm with the excitement around him. He stood before the microphone, a sea of faces looking back at him, filled with anticipation. "Good evening, everyone," he greeted, his voice steady despite the flutter in his chest. "I stand before you not just as a man who once begged for help, but as a testament to the power of community." He shared his story of the darkness that had enveloped him, and how Margaret's kindness had ignited a spark of hope in his heart. As he spoke, he noticed people nodding, their eyes glistening with understanding. "This center has been my lifeline," he continued. "It is where I found purpose again, but I am not alone. Many of you have found hope here, too. We each have our battles, but together we can rise." After Samuel, several others took the stage. A single mother spoke about how the center had provided her with childcare while she found work. A teenager shared how the after-school program had helped him discover a passion for art. Each story echoed with the same theme: resilience born from community. As the event drew to a close, Samuel felt a rush of pride. People were moved, and there was a palpable sense of unity in the air. But as he stepped down, a twinge of unease twisted in his stomach. Would this be enough to inspire the donations they desperately needed? Margaret approached him, her smile radiant. "You did wonderfully, Samuel. I have a feeling the community will respond." Days passed, and the center awaited news of the donations. Samuel helped maintain the building, pouring his heart into every repair. Yet, as the deadline loomed, hope felt fragile, almost elusive. The weight of uncertainty pressed down on him, reminding him of darker days. One afternoon, he was mending a swing set in the playground when he spotted Lily approaching, her daughter in tow. "Samuel," Lily called, her voice bright. "I brought you something." Curiosity piqued, he paused his work. "What is it?" Lily unveiled a basket filled with a variety of baked goods. "I wanted to thank you for believing in me. I am doing well with my business, and it is all thanks to your encouragement." Samuel's heart swelled with warmth. "You've worked incredibly hard, Lily. I am proud of you." As they chatted, her daughter ran off to join friends on the swings, giggling with abandon. "I also wanted to tell you," Lily continued, "I am planning a small bake sale this Saturday. I thought we could donate the proceeds to the center." Samuel felt a rush of gratitude. "That is a beautiful idea. I'd be honored to help." As the bake sale unfolded, a wave of community spirit surged forth. Neighbors came together, sharing stories over baked goods, laughter echoing through the air. Samuel worked alongside Lily, their camaraderie fostering an atmosphere of joy and hope. By the end of the day, the sale had raised a significant amount. Samuel's heart soared as he watched families leave with treats, their faces aglow with excitement. They were not just purchasing goods, they were investing in the center and in each other. "Thank you, Samuel," Lily said, her eyes shining. "I couldn't have done this without you." As they counted the money raised, a sense of triumph enveloped them. Samuel knew that every penny would aid those in need, but beyond that, it reminded him of the bonds formed through shared struggles. Just as Samuel was about to leave, a familiar figure approached. Margaret stood before him, her smile wide, and her eyes sparkling. "I have incredible news," she announced, barely able to contain her excitement. Thanks to your stories and the big sale, we've received a surge of donations. We'll be able to keep our programs running. Tears of joy stung Samuel's eyes. This is truly wonderful. Yes, it is, Margaret replied, her face radiating warmth. But it is more than just the money. You've helped create a community that believes in each other. You've become a beacon of hope. In the weeks that followed, the center flourished. People rallied together, not just to donate, but to volunteer and share their skills. Samuel felt invigorated by the energy around him. He began hosting workshops, teaching carpentry to eager learners, sharing the wisdom he had gathered over the years. One day, while leading a group of children in a woodworking project, Samuel noticed a young girl struggling to hammer a nail. Her frustration bubbled over, and she threw the hammer down, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Hey there," Samuel said gently, crouching beside her. "What is bothering you?" "I can't do it," she exclaimed, her voice cracking. "It is too hard." Samuel placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "You know, when I first started working as a carpenter, I struggled too. I felt like giving up, but every mistake taught me something new. It is not about being perfect, it is about trying again." With renewed determination, she picked up the hammer, her eyes focused. Samuel beamed, remembering his own journey. "That is it, just like that." As she succeeded, the room erupted with cheers. Samuel felt the warmth of hope radiating through the center, a testament to resilience, to the power of community, and most of all, to the beauty of trying again. Winter eventually melted into spring, and Samuel watched as blossoms erupted around the community center. With each passing day, he felt more grounded, more connected to the lives around him. He had come to learn that it wasn't just about his story, it was about all the stories woven together, creating a fabric of hope for the future. One sunny afternoon, Samuel sat on the park bench where it all began, watching the children play, laughter ringing in the air. He felt a profound sense of gratitude wash over him. The struggles he had faced were still present, but they no longer defined him. Instead, they had become a source of strength and inspiration. As he closed his eyes, breathing in the fresh air, he realized that hope wasn't merely a flicker, it was a blazing fire that resided within the human spirit, ignited by compassion, nurtured by resilience, and fueled by the connections forged in shared experiences. And in that moment, he knew that his journey had just begun. Together, they would continue to rise, for the beauty of the human spirit knew no bounds. Part 4, The Seeds of Change. As spring unfolded, the community center buzzed with the energy of renewal. Children played outside, their laughter blending with the melodic chirping of birds returning from their winter hideaways. Inside, Samuel had become a central figure, and his heart brimmed with joy as he watched the vibrant tapestry of lives intertwining under one roof. Yet, amidst the blossoming joy, Samuel felt a whisper of unease. Rumors of potential gentrification in the neighborhood had begun to circulate. The area was becoming desirable for new development, and with it came the fear that the community center and everything it represented might be lost. One afternoon, as Samuel worked on a new woodworking project, he overheard a conversation between Margaret and the center's board members. Their voices were hushed, but Samuel could sense the urgency lacing their words. "If the city approves the new development plan, we might have to vacate," one board member said, her voice steady but worried. "The community needs us, but we can't fight against economic forces without proper backing." Samuel's heart sank. He had witnessed too many families and individuals transform their lives within these walls to allow it to be taken away. He approached Margaret, who wore a look of deep concern. "Margaret, what can we do?" he asked, his voice filled with sincerity. "How can we protect the center?" Margaret turned, relief washing over her face at his concern. "We need to rally the community, Samuel, raise awareness, show them what this center means to all of us." Determined, Samuel gathered a group of volunteers that included families, children, and staff. They brainstormed ideas, and as they shared their visions, the energy in the room became electric. It felt as though the very essence of hope was being woven together once more. "We should organize a community event," Samuel suggested, his eyes bright with intensity. "Invite everyone to share their stories and showcase what the center means to them. We can create a petition to submit to the city council." The group erupted in enthusiastic agreement, and plans unfurled like the petals of a flower. Over the following weeks, Samuel and the volunteers worked tirelessly to prepare. They decorated the community center with banners and colorful artwork, each piece telling a story of resilience. A mural painted by the teenagers, photographs of families who had found shelter and support, and handwritten notes of gratitude from those whose lives had been transformed. The day of the event arrived, and anxiety buzzed in the air like static electricity. Samuel stood at the entrance, greeting families as they arrived. He felt their palpable energy, their worries mingling with hope, and it fueled him. Margaret took the stage, her voice steady as she addressed the crowd. Thank you all for being here today. Each of you has a voice that matters, and today we stand together in solidarity. We will not let this community center become another forgotten casualty. She is erupted from the audience, the sound echoing through the center like a rallying cry. Samuel felt a surge of emotion as he watched familiar faces turn toward him, eyes shining with expectation. It was time to share his story again. Taking a deep breath, he stepped up to the microphone, his heart racing. I am Samuel, and I am here because this center saved me, he began, his voice steady. I came to this park as a broken man, invisible to the world, but through kindness and community, I found purpose again. He recounted his struggles, his past as a carpenter, the years lost to despair, and how he had found a renewed spirit among the laughter of children and the shared stories of families. This center is more than just a building, it is a lifeline. It has taught us the power of connection. If we stand together, we can protect what we've rebuilt. With each word, Samuel sensed the audience leaning closer, captivated by the vulnerability of his journey. He felt a warmth spreading through him, igniting the fire of hope within the room. After Samuel, several others took the stage, their stories resonating deeply within the hearts of those gathered. Father spoke about how the center had offered him stability during difficult times, while a single mother shared her gratitude for the resources that had helped her find employment. As the stories unfolded, Samuel observed the faces of the audience, nodding heads, tears welling in eyes, and hands clasped in solidarity. It was a powerful reminder of the strength that came from vulnerability and the beauty of the human spirit. When the final speaker finished, the atmosphere in the room was charged with emotion. The audience erupted in applause, and Margaret quickly took the stage again, her voice breaking with gratitude. Thank you for sharing your stories today. We've each shown that we are more than just individuals, we are a community united by hope. Samuel felt the energy swell as they unveiled the petition, a show of hands raised high in support. Let us show the city council that we will not be overlooked, Margaret urged. Our voices will be heard. The event concluded with a gathering outside, where families connected and shared laughter over food and games. Samuel watched as children played together, their innocence and joy a beacon of hope. They were the future, and he felt a deep responsibility to protect that light. Days turned into weeks as they worked to gather signatures for the petition. Samuel felt a renewed sense of purpose, but there were still moments of doubt. Would the city council listen? Would their efforts make a difference? It was during those moments when the warmth of community embraced him most tightly. One evening, as Samuel prepared to leave the center, he spotted Lily sitting on a bench, her head buried in her hands. Concerned, he approached her. Lily, what is wrong? She looked up, her eyes red from tears. I am scared, Samuel. My business has slowed down, and I don't know how I'll manage to pay the rent next month. It feels like everything is falling apart. Samuel sat beside her, his heart aching for her. I understand that fear. I've faced it more times than I can count. But remember, you are not alone. We are all in this together. You've built something beautiful, and I believe in you. Lily took a deep breath, her composure returning slightly. Thank you, Samuel. Your faith in me means the world. Let us brainstorm, he suggested. We can come up with a plan together. You've already shown immense resilience. Let us channel it into something productive. They spent hours talking, creating a strategy to promote her business. Samuel offered to help her craft a flyer that highlighted her baked goods, and together they brainstormed ideas for a community bake-off event to raise funds for the center and her business. As the days passed, Lilia's spirits lifted. Samuel found joy in being there for her, just as Margaret had been for him. They organized the bake-off, and the community rallied together to support them. Families came out to share recipes, bake together, and enjoy the warmth of connection. The day of the bake-off dawned bright and beautiful. The air was rich with the smell of freshly baked goods, and laughter filled the streets. Samuel felt a swell of pride watching the community come together, united by the spirit of resilience and love. As people sampled the treats, they shared their support for both Lily's business and the community center. Samuel felt a sense of fulfillment wash over him. He had come full circle from a man once begging for help to now standing alongside others, inspiring hope. When the final tally of the bake-off proceeds was counted, Samuel's heart soared. They had raised enough to help Lily pay her rent and secure the community center's programs for months to come. It was a testament to the power of togetherness, a reminder that hope can sprout in the most unexpected places. But the fight wasn't over. The city council meeting was on the horizon, and the stakes felt higher than ever. Samuel stood with Margaret, ready to present their petition and share their stories once again. As they entered the council chambers, the atmosphere was somber, filled with tension. Samuel felt the weight of anticipation, but he drew strength from the faces of those who stood with him, families, children, and friends who believed in their cause. "Good evening," Margaret began, her voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. "We are here to advocate for our community center, a place that has transformed lives and forged connections. We stand united, with over 1,000 signatures from those who depend on this center." Samuel stepped forward, his heart pounding as he prepared to share his story once more. "I was once a man lost in despair, invisible to the world, but the center opened its doors to me, offering a lifeline when I needed it most. I've witnessed families thrive here, children learning, and lives being rebuilt." His voice echoed through the chamber, and he felt emotion rising as he continued. "We are not just statistics, we are individuals, parents, children, friends who have found hope within these walls. If this center closes, we lose more than just a building, we lose our community." As he spoke, he noticed the council members leaning in, captivated by the sincerity of his words. The stories of struggle and triumph filled the room, weaving an emotional tapestry that resonated with everyone present. When the meeting adjourned, they held their breath, awaiting the council's decision. Samuel stood surrounded by friends, an unbreakable bond forged in the fires of adversity. Together, they had faced uncertainty, but now stood on the precipice of change. Days passed,